Welcome to another episode of Dad Can We Talk. I'm your host, Anthony Ray, and this is episode 60. It's another milestone for me, man. When I first started, I was doing 10 episodes every season. Lately, I kind of gotten away from that a little bit, but if I still was doing that, this will be the last episode of season 6. So, yes, it's another special one for me, man. A milestone. I'm really trying to push to 100, man. You know, that was one of my goals when I first started. I really wanted to, see if I could stay consistent enough to get to 100 and see where that goes. So, hey, I'm a little over halfway there. I got 40 more after this. And I got a long list of dads still out there, man. So I got plenty of dads on deck. I just gotta stick with my consistency. And so far, man, I just want to say thank you to everyone that's been supporting the podcast. It's been real love, man, real support. I can't thank everyone enough for just continuing to push me, in times when I wanted to give up, times when I wanted to stop, times when I was discouraged. I just thank God, for having men around me to continue to push me to do it, because that's on my side. On the other side, man, I got dads right now like, bruh, let me get on there. I got a story. So, yeah, man. So, yeah, if anything, y'all continue to pray for me, man. Pray for my mind. Pray for my my continued perseverance, I got a lot of stuff on my plate. I'm still in school, and that's the biggest thing, trying to keep everything going, keep myself afloat, continue to stay focused on my children, my home, stay focused as a husband. I just gotta, keep my balance. That's all I try to focus on every day, keeping everything balanced. So, yeah, man, for all y'all that say y'all love me out there, man, pray for your boy, please. And just pray for my continued strength that I just keep going, because at times it does get heavy and it does get hard to keep being consistent the way that I've been consistent. People might see that I'm pushing this stuff out here every week. It is not easy, but I'm committed to this because I know that it's something important, and I know this when God put this in my spirit about 3 years ago. I knew this was the vision for it. So, yeah, man. Thank everyone for supporting me. But, yeah, without further ado, if y'all do support us, please go like the Facebook page. Go to Instagram, follow the Instagram page, and go to YouTube, subscribe on YouTube. And whatever platform you listen to the podcast on, like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anything like that, subscribe to the podcast if y'all can do that for me. And if you have the time, leave a review. That helps us out a lot. So, yeah, thank you for all the people that have left reviews also. But, yeah, without further ado, man, I'm here with a big homie for real, man. I've been waiting to get this man here on. We had a talk earlier this year, and I kind of wish we would have caught that conversation on the podcast, because it was real, it was raw, but it was perfect for that time. We might get into some of that stuff today, but it was just so real and it was so genuine, the conversation we had. And ever since then, I've been telling myself, I got to get bro on the podcast, man. I got to get him on here, man, because I feel like he has a lot of wisdom pertaining to a lot of different things. And I'm more than sure y'all going to hear a lot of things in his story that's going to have you thinking. And, yeah, I just been waiting to do this right here, man. So, y'all welcome to the show, my man, Mr. Porter.
A.K.A.
Jahid. Yeah. Y'all welcome to the show, my brother, man. How you feeling, bro?
I'm all well, bro. I can't complain. Just another day.
Yes, sir, man. So the way we do it on Dad Can We Talk, man, my first question is always the same. I want to take it back real quick. I want you to talk about what your relationship was like with your dad.
My dad, he was a dad. I would consider, he toted the load the best he could. Super strict in my opinion as a jitty boy. Was always, I feel like always one getting the ass tore out the most. But I think out of all of it, it made me somewhat better than. I wish I probably should have got a little bit more ass whoopings, but he was great people, hard working man. Yeah, went to work, put us in the best position he could as a single father. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I mean, that's just how I feel. I don't really harbor no resentment towards him because it's a lot of us, but at the same time, our relationship today is well, I would like it to be, Talk to him fairly often.
Okay, that's what's up. So, how would you say that relationship? Helped you in your relationship now, being a father in the position you are in now?
Well, I would say that my relationship with him and my relationship with my kids is super different.
Yeah.
He
whole different circumstance.
He like drill sergeant. I'm like, let them run me over, if you will. They get away with a lot of stuff, compared to just the smallest things. When I was a child, would never get away with it, but. Nigga get a pass, will give my kids more so a pass now than he gave me, but for the most part, I mean, I just feel like, I do adopt some principles as far as, what he stood on. I kind of instill in my kids, and just kind of like, parenting an everyday thing, you're growing and learning with it. So it's kind of one of them things. Now it's like, I just kind of go with the flow, learning. They kind of run me more than I run them, but
Hey, but it's crazy because that's for me. That's a dynamic that's kind of hard to get over sometimes. I look at how I was raised. I ain't have my dad there, so I kind of go by a lot of things that my mom did when I was growing up. And I'm always telling them, man, if I did some of the stuff y'all be doing in my mama's house, man, I would have been had my behind towed up, man.
Yes, sir.
And I think about that sometimes, and I'm like, but what if it wasn't supposed to be like that? Like, what if, like I love my mom and all that, and I think my mom did what she had to do for her children.
Yeah.
And the circumstance that she was in, she was a single mom, so she had to be a certain way, in order, and she was raising 3 boys.
Yeah.
So she had to be a certain way, and because of the way she was, everybody know me and my brothers, me, Ron, Elp, they like, well, y'all was respectful, this and that, and I'm like, I mean, shoot. We had to be a certain way because my mom was like, she was on that. She wasn't taking nothing less. Yeah. You try her with anything other than what she asked, boy. Boy, it was. You wasn't even doing that. We didn't even think like that. You know. But nowadays, it's like I look at my relationship with my children. Now it's like it's different. And sometimes I'm trying to still hold to some of that stuff, and then what be making me mad, my mom would come to the house sometimes, and I'm on them, and she like, boy, you, like, what you was doing the same stuff.
Yeah.
You did this to me, and she be like, well, and she'll apologize about certain stuff, like, well, maybe I should have never did that. You can let the kids get this. I'm like, man, I ain't on that, Mom.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And so it's like, and that's why I kind of ask that. I like to ask that question because I think a lot of times we try to adopt certain principles from our parents that we probably shouldn't necessarily take on, And it might not be a good or bad thing, you know, it just all depends. And I think, you know, like I just be in a place where I'm trying to like develop my own parenting style.
Yeah.
And not just do things just because this would happen when I was growing up.
Yeah.
You know, so how many kids you got? You got 3.
3, 12, 9, and 6.
12, so you was boom. So you 3, and 3.
Yeah, and this shit over. Yeah, this shit over. This shit over, child. It's over with. I don't know about the rest of them. I ain't getting my nuts clipped, but it's over. You feel me?
What, girls, boys?
I'm a girl, the oldest, and I got 2 boys under.
Okay. Oof, man, what's that like, bro? You know, because you ahead of me, my oldest is 8. So, man, you got that 12-year-old daughter.
Boy, listen, it's getting scary. This shit getting scary, boy. You know, she developing, and, bruh, I'm telling you, I'm gonna have to bust a nigga in this shit. Well, I swear to God, I'm gonna have to get on a nigga ass. Well, first I try to, like, you know, play tough dad with her, but at the same time, give her like that real deal understanding, like, without telling her niggas ain't shit, you know what I mean? But I don't know, but she getting to that point where it's like, what she is. Like that age, I originally had a spanker, and I hated that. That was my first time I was spanking her.
Yeah.
And people say, "Oh, spank." Oh, I want that ass, you know. But I ain't get that ass like that. I felt bad more spanking her though than just trying to talk to her. Just would never get across to her. I think that belt reached some understanding though.
Yeah.
It ain't get too bad, you know, but I just had to put my foot down, you know. She getting older, you know, curious and shit, you know.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna ask, so what? If she's 12, so what? She's middle school now, ain't she?
7th grade.
7th grade. So she don't reach that middle school point. So would you say all that? You know, did it kind of start once it got to middle school, or was you like? Did you have any issues like before middle school?
Well, I ain't never
not issues, but like
no, well, just like I think it's going from 5th to 6th, and then 6th feeling like, all right, I'm halfway through middle school, like I'm finna be in high school, you know. And I think she kind of just not getting into that little flirting stage. And then YouTube and all these other damn videos that she sneak and watch, cause you know I try to keep it fairly sensible, but everybody say, well, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. If you put so many restrictions on her, you know, it's gonna cause her to want to do this or cause her to want to do that. It's just like, man, fuck that. I'm gonna be on her ass because I'm her daddy and I love her. And you know, one thing about it, but I don't have to fuck none of you goddamn niggas cheering up about mine, cause you know, but I'm trying my best. You know? Yeah.
See, I try to, when it comes to electronics and all that, I'm real strict on that stuff. Like, I'm strict. Like, mine, bro, they done been on punishment from electronics for like a whole month and a half now. Like, I just take, ain't no phones, no iPads. You can't even touch the Xbox.
Yeah.
Like, no nothing. Like, I don't want y'all touching nothing unless I say. If I don't say, and if I don't, and when you looking at it, when I say you can, and I'm gonna tell you what movie you finna watch, because it's like, I started feeling like, for a while, bro, they was picking up on habits. I'm like, where you getting that stuff from? Mm-hmm. I don't do stuff like that. I don't talk like that, and your mama don't talk like that, and your mama don't do stuff like that. Obviously, you getting it from either from school, or you getting it from watching YouTube and all that stuff. And I just told them straight up, hey, listen, until y'all start to act right and get your attitude together, don't even ask me about that stuff. And that's just how I be in my house with it, because like, I don't want them to have that, like, I ain't even gonna let that be an excuse, like, oh, well, you know, with the YouTube and all, like, no, we just, and I know, as like I said, my oldest is 8, And she be asking me about phones, and I just tell her straight up, I don't know about no phones until you show me that you mature enough. Yeah, you don't ask about no phone. You good?
Yeah.
You know, and we got her one of them little ones from Walmart. I had got her one of those where you just pay the fee up front, and then that's it. And for a while, I let her use that, but I'm just like, nah, I'm straight on that right now. Like, because I feel like they take advantage of that stuff sometimes, and I think that'd be a lot of the problems with kids sometimes. You know, they indulge so much in that stuff, man.
Yeah.
And they be picking up stuff. I'm like,
yeah, it is. But she just recently asked me for an iPhone. I'm like, girl, I ain't never on one. And I got iPhone 11, but I will never buy another one. I won't go to no 12, or I ain't still trying figured out, you know, what the perks is.
Yeah.
You know, but hell nah. You get this Razor.
Yeah.
You get this Nokia. I don't even know they sell them bitches anymore, but yeah. And she looking at it like she can't get on YouTube. Then I put YouTube restrictions, go to YouTube Kids, and she catch a whole fit. You know, it's like, all right, you get no phone then.
Straight up.
You don't get no phone. You ain't appreciative. You ain't grateful. Then you don't get nothing.
Straight up.
Yeah, that shit real though, man.
Dang. So what about the boys, man? So what that's the 9 and 6.
Yeah, my middle boy Chase, he laid back, man. He cooler than a fan. Nothing disturb him. He gonna be like a real scientist, you know. I believe, you know. He into rocks, dirt, caterpillars, you know, all kind of stuff that, you know, he want to put shit under the microscope. You know what I mean? My younger boy, I'm still trying to figure him out. You know what I'm saying? I think because he the youngest, he kind of like, you know, he a little lazy. You know what I'm saying? He kind of like let the big brother and sister kind of pick up his load, pick his trash up, change his dirty pissy sheets.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, nigga, you get your shit, take it to the laundry. Yeah, but other than that, he growing. That joker always in the sun, man. He recently cut his doggone knee. End up in the hospital getting 2 stitches.
Yeah.
I say, boy, if it ain't one thing, it's another with you, you know. But I love him. He a busybody. You know, he definitely Daddy baby though. You know, helped me out on the farm and shit. You know.
Yeah.
I got him where he driving the tractor now, so he feel like he up there.
Alright.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I wanted to ask you about that. You know, you got that land out there, man, and I see you always, you know, teaching them. Like, why is that so important for you, to teach your kids about the farming and all that? You know, you got them acres out there, man. Like, what made you want to instill that type of stuff? For one, like, what got you into that? Why is that type of stuff important for you? And now you're passing that down to your children.
Well, it was always something that was in the family, the property, you know. Yeah. And it finally, like, it's like heirs property, so it finally come down in the hands of, you know, my father, and so now it's kind of like the door is open. So I chose to walk through the door instead of, you know, waiting 30, 40 years for it to actually become, you know, heirs property again for me and my siblings, you know. And I just look at the society today and I'm like, man, we ought to be doing something, because, you know, we get these food stamps, about 100 and some change, and then people around here struggling, you know, and then, you know, the shift in government and shit like that, shit changing. So I think, you know, if we don't wake up and understand, like, right now is the time. And, you know, it usually takes 60 days for some shit to grow and harvest. You know, if something crashed tomorrow, you know, what you gonna have for the next 60 days? I mean, on a green bean level, that's, you know, we talking about 60 to 90 days, you know, on certain crops. So, and then most people ain't got 40 acres, you know, an acre you know, they don't have that care.
Mm-hmm.
People, excuse me, people want to hang out, party, kick back, chill. You know, and ain't nothing wrong with it, but I think it's a season for everything. You know, when I was in my early 20s, I did a lot of hanging out and bullshit, and I, you know, partied and whatever. But yeah, at that point now, man, it's like do or die. You know, and it's important that I push that on my kids. And I ain't gonna say they like it, but you ain't got no choice under my government. You know. Yeah. It's like you either do this to get this. It's like going to school. You know, I already feel like it's an Indo-European education system. So it's like shit. We gonna do what our ancestors did. You know, and this gonna be the way. And this y'all new wave. You know what I'm saying? It's my new wave in a sense where it's in my hands now to make these type moves for the next generation of my kids, to make it for their kids. And hopefully by the time they get their kids, we got 1 million acres. You know. We be around here farming on real deal scale, producing the super Walmart or some shit, you know what I mean? But I mean more ideal of the mom and pops, cause I don't really fool with big business, you know?
Straight up. Yeah, boy. That's a whole other topic right there.
Yeah, Lord.
Whole other topic right there, man. But I want to ask you this, man. What was your first thought? Like, what was that first thought that ran through your head when you found out you was about to become a dad?
Oh man, I couldn't believe I could fucking have kids. I'm like, damn, my nut work. I'm like, hell no. But shit, after a while, it's like, damn, I guess this shit. And then it's that doubt, like, is this my motherfucking child? And then that little red motherfucker come out and it's like, God damn.
Man, you're crazy.
I swear to God, bro. That was my first thought. Like, this shit don't work. Nigga shooting dog water. I'm hitting up like 2 years strong. This shit ain't working. But then God said, let that be light.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. But it was something that I kind of love, just the fact that, like, damn, I could create. Yeah. And then it goes from that to, all right, let's prepare to get ready for this child.
Yeah.
To, buying all the diapers and newborn clothes and shit like that, to getting ready to see that baby come out. It's amazing, though.
Yeah. Ain't nothing like that, but that's an experience right there.
Yeah.
You'll never forget that one, dog.
Nah.
For real.
Never.
Yeah, so, boy, cause see, I think now I talked about this a few weeks ago. I feel like we don't prepare. We're not prepared as young men to be fathers. I don't think society prepares us like that. And then I think being black men, I think we get the even shortest end of the stick when it comes to being prepared. Like, we're just not prepared at all. Like, I know for me, when I first found out I was about to be a dad, it was like, I ain't know nothing, bro. I'm like, shoot. Like, well, I don't know the first thing. I'm kind of scared to hold my baby. Cause I'm like, shoot, I don't really do this. Like,
yeah.
I think the first time I put a diaper on, I put it on backwards. And they was like, you got the baby diaper on backwards. I was like, I don't know. And it's like, we're so underprepared at times, man. And I think that's why a lot of guys, when they do have children or when they find out they're about to have children, they either some of the guys run away from that responsibility because it's a scary thing. Like, it ain't, you start thinking like, dang, I got a child that's about to come into the world that's gonna be up under my responsibility.
Yeah.
And you can't give this child, like, it ain't like it's someone else's child. It's like, this is my child that's about to live with me in my home, and I gotta feed it and clothe it and take care of it, do all of these things. And it could just be, it can be scary, bro. And I think that's what happens with a lot of young men, because we haven't been prepared to even think about taking care of a baby.
Yeah.
I made a post on Facebook. Well, I seen a post on Facebook some weeks back where this woman, it was like a picture of a young boy holding a baby, like a fake little baby doll. And he was just taking a picture of it. He was holding it, and he just took a picture. And she was like, she felt like it was emasculating and all this. And I'm just like, I don't know about that, because years ago, I remember when we first had my son, he probably was 1. He was about 1. No, at this time, he was probably 2, almost 2. And my 2 youngest kids are like 10 months apart. So my son was about 2. My baby girl was barely 1.
Yeah.
And so I was sitting there observing them, watching all my babies play or whatever. And so my son, he had got one of my daughter's babies, and he was like, he picked the baby up, and I was about to say something to him, like, well, put that doll down, but I said, no, let me watch him real quick. And so he got the doll, and he patted the baby, laid the baby down, put cover over it, and I'm like, he doing what he see me do to his baby sister.
Mm-hmm.
All he doing is doing what he sees. He see me all the time with his baby sister, patting her back, feeding her,
mm-hmm.
putting her to bed, kissing on her. And I'm like, in his mind, all he know is, shoot, this is what my daddy do.
Yeah.
He taking care of a baby. And I started to think, like, dang, why did I have in my head, like, I was really finna get on him about it? Because I had gotten on him about it before. Like, quit playing with the baby dolls. And I never saw him do anything, like, out of the ordinary with the babies. Like, he'll either get one of the babies and be crashing the baby head to the thing. I'm like, dang, bro, chill out. And he either be doing that, or he, putting the baby down, trying to get the baby some food. And I'm like, I feel like society has taught us as boys that boys don't play with babies.
Mm-hmm.
Boys don't take care of children. And I think that's why even a lot of times when dudes do have children, we pass the babies on to the mothers and say, you do that. You feed the baby. You change the baby. You do all these things, and I'ma just work. I don't deal with the baby. I don't bathe the baby. I don't have, have anything to do with nurturing that child. And I just always looked at my own situation and said to myself, that I don't think that ain't the experience that I've had. My experience with my babies, I did everything. I ain't want to miss out on nothing. I want to feed them. I need my skin to skin time too.
Yeah.
I want my baby laying on my chest.
Yeah.
So that they can be comfortable with me and feel, we can be able to have that chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, with all of that, so I just wanted to get your thoughts on, like, how do you feel about society's standards and norms that they've put on young boys, and how do you think that's affected us, or do you even believe that that's something that's really affected us as young men, as we become fathers?
I mean, like, my dad, for instance, he never showed us affection,
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't no hugging, it wasn't no embracing, it wasn't no I love you, Like, he went to work and he provided.
Mm-hmm.
My stepmother did a big part of help raising us, but me and my siblings. But on that note, it wasn't too much no affection neither. It wasn't until I was older, and then I mean like recently, like I'm 33, so it was like 30. First time I ever heard my dad tell me, "I love you, son." You know, it was like shocking. You know, so I think that got a lot to do with at least the way we show affection. To our kids. Me particularly, I'm a big lover, on my kids because what I wasn't showed, I think it had some type of effect on me in my earlier 20s, not having that type of affection showed by my dad, and my mom was on drugs, so she was never there. So and I was 21 when my daughter was born. So when she come in, I was like in love, like damn, fucked up by her, and so I always tried to play my kids close as far as with affection, and the effects it do have on you in the long run, either it's gonna spoil you or it's gonna be some things that you're gonna say, I vow not to ever do, as far as leaving my kids, as far as not being able to express that you love them, to bring them in, to hug them, I mean, it's bigger than vacations in the summertime, especially when you're absent, and then still you getting your ass whooped on vacation. So, I mean, it don't matter. It's like, damn, you brought me here to beat my ass still. But it's all love though. But I personally, I just love on my kids, because I know the effects it had not having that type of affection. Even with women, even with not being able to express yourself, it's kind of like a bottled up emotion where you might have a lot of love for a woman, but it's that thing in you where it's like, you gotta kind of protect yourself, just like a broken woman. Been through so many broken relationships. She protect herself she throw that wall up to where she ain't trying to give her full emotion, where she might have that emotion, but so it's about the same thing. I would call it more so that like feminine aspect of myself, to actually embrace my kids, like not like their mother, but shit, like you say, at that time where they had that skin to skin, and shit. I mean, all that's important, man. Even on the father end, and if a nigga think different, then she got nutted in by the wrong dad. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, I mean. But then you got these mothers, turn around after they see that type of good guy, still go and try to make it hard for a willing father,
There are a lot of women out there that do stuff like that. Something that I can't understand for the life of me. How a man could want to do for his children, and then a woman tries to do everything in her power to stop that man. Like, what are your thoughts on that type of stuff, man? Like,
she a bitch. Nah, for real though, man. That's how I feel though, cause at the end of the day, why would you want to create like, imbalancing between parenting when they don't have to be that way? It's like if you got a good baby mama, nigga, just do right by these kids. If you got a good baby daddy, then let him be, the best he can be for him. But all of that, well, I ain't doing too well in my life, or I don't want to get off my ass and go and do something. You know what I'm saying? Instead, I'm gonna turn this into a paycheck opportunity. Or as a father, some fathers would deadbeat dads would be, like, if she ain't with me, I ain't doing this, then fuck the jit. If she ain't with me, then, he ain't doing shit for the child. It's, that's bum shit. But I mean, it just really don't have to be that way when you know, 1 + 1 2.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, give a nigga a real opportunity to, you know, show that he worthy. And if he's showing he worthy on before the child get here, then, you know, and then he's still fighting with your dumb ass, because the average nigga gonna hightail and say, fuck, you and the churn, you know,
Yeah.
but a real man gonna stick around, rather if he gotta keep knocking on your door like, let me get my child, or get tired of that and finally go to the court and file a civil petition to get a parental, you know, share time. It's all bullshit, though. So my daddy calling me now.
Yeah, but I always talk about it, man. Like, I just be knowing, I know so many guys that, man, they're fighting, bro, going through them court systems and getting turned down for this, getting turned down for that, and you know, like, just to see the hurt on God's face and to just know, like, you know, there's so many guys that's just like, man, I want to give, I just feel like giving up, bro. And, you know, I'm encouraging guys, you know, keep fighting, bro, keep fighting. Yeah. But it's like, I don't know what it's like to be in that situation. You know, I can say what I say, but it's like, I ain't speaking from experience or anything, because I ain't never been, you know, thank the Lord, bro. Like, I ain't never been in a place where I've had to fight for my children, or, you know, like, I go to sleep every night with put my babies in the bed and wake up to them.
That's a blessing.
And it's like, I know every man, you know, and I always say, you know, I feel like, well, I know I'm blessed, you know, to be in the position I'm in. You know, I ain't had children until I got married, and, you know, I almost did everything on the perfect level, you know, but it's like, I know this ain't for everybody, you know, this ain't everybody's story, you know, everybody ain't do like I did. And it's like, I just know I'm blessed, bro, because the things that I hear from other guys, and to know that, you know, it's some guys that just wish, like, man, like my dog told me a couple weeks ago, he said, bro, I just wish I could just, bro, I just want to see my daughter, bro. Like, ain't like I'm even asking to have her come stay with me, bro. I just want to see her, bro.
Yeah.
And it's like, I ain't know what to say to bro. Like, I don't know what, I'm like, dang.
Well, you know, I think it's options at the end of the day, because, see, I'm only let, you know, I only let my baby mama play with me.
Yeah.
I got 2 baby mama, 3 kids.
Yeah.
That's it. And I feel for, I don't even feel for the niggas that just sat around here and just drop lows and hoes and, you know, got a million cheering. But at the end of the day, I think it's remedies and recourse. You know, man, meaning if I can't civilly sit down with you and we talk about this, and then we come to civil negotiation to where, like, we have that understanding to where it's like, man, all right, I get the child here, blah, this squad, I bring them back this time, you know. Yeah. If she continue to give you that bullshit, then you got to go to them white folks. Yeah. You got to file that civil petition to actually get a share time parental agreement. If she breach it, then she going to be in trouble with the courts. Yeah. That's giving you grounds to modify your support, your parental agreement. You know what I mean? So, you know, she default on like, oh, no, I'm still not giving you the child. Fuck the courts. You know, it's she gonna have to deal with it. Now you got more time. Yeah. Because the courts don't play about that shit. You know, when the judge order, that's what it is. Yeah. Then you gotta follow it. If you don't follow it, then she held into contempt as you would if the courts order you to pay child support and you didn't. Mm-hmm. They're gonna hold you in contempt and take your license. Send your ass to jail, purge you. You know, and the more you go to jail for that, the more your purge gonna be. Yeah. And it ain't about the child, it's about the money. It's gonna always be about the money. It ain't never about the child. And especially when you start with an ignorant one. Dang. You know, it ain't never about the child. Mm-hmm. It's sad, but it's real. It's true. There's a lot of good fathers out here that's going through that shit, you know. Mm-hmm. Mine showed me 10 child support checks and when they got an ad job. Yeah. Bitch. Yeah, now I'm finna go to contempt. Cause I ain't giving your ass $9. Time to go and modify this shit.
Yeah.
You don't need it if you say, you know, you can do that.
Yeah.
No, bro.
Man. Yeah, dog. That stuff dangerous, man.
My other baby mama took me off child support.
Yeah.
She realized what it was doing.
Yeah.
That shit was a blessing.
Yeah. That's blessing for real, man.
$2,500 cash assistance she got when my daughter was 1.
Dang.
$30,000 in back pay, but I always had a feeling like, fuck the system. I'ma always slide you this cash under the table like a real man gonna do for his children.
Straight up.
She forgave her arrears.
Yeah.
That shit meaningful to me.
Yeah.
Now I'm giving her more money than willfully than a child support order would have, you know, gave them.
Yeah.
$200-something a month. 2 kids. That ain't no damn money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Shoot. Boy. That ain't nothing. For real.
That ain't nothing.
Yeah, man.
Shit like that, though.
Like I say, boy, I just be thankful that I ain't never had to go through that type of stuff. Cause, boy, the stories I be hearing, I'm like, boy, I see how some people be, boy, they lose their cool, boy. I'm like, she be playing with you like that?
Yeah. You be ready to go up motherfucker head, man. Quick.
Boy, some of the stuff I
if
be
you
hearing,
love them kids like that, some
real.
niggas be like, man, I don't give a damn. I pay this purge and haul ass for the next 8-9 months till they purge me again. Then they gotta catch me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang.
Nah, a real man gonna get sick. He gonna get sick because he ain't around what, you know, he created. Mm-hmm. That's how I used to get. I used to get fucking sick.
Yeah.
Like, I'm nauseous all the time. I need them babies. I'm like wondering.
Dang.
You know, shit. I was a mama boy and she left me when I was a kid, so you know, that's how I feel like, nah, they gonna need daddy. Yeah. They gonna need daddy too.
Straight up. Got to have daddy.
But now she, you know, my kids getting older, so the things I used to deal with, you know, on a lot of that shit, you know, was when they were younger. Now that they can see a little clear, like, damn, daddy is trying, you know, it's kind of hard emotionally on her. It's like a backfire to where you can only play this game by yourself because I ain't playing it no more with you, you know. And you know, when I fall back from it, it is what it is. And now my, you know, daughter, my son, you know, they got their own cell phones, so I ain't gotta go through. Yeah. You know, you snatching the phone. They can be in the room talking to me for 3-4 hours. You know what I'm saying? We can talk about law and civics. Yeah. Like my daughter, she was just telling me about law and government 5th period she had, and we was talking about nationality and stuff like that. And I asked her, I said, what's your nationality? What's your race? How do you identify yourself? You know what I'm saying? And she said, I would say I'm black. And I say, at the time I had an all black shirt on, I say, my shirt is black. I say, but you high yellow. Yeah. I say, so are you black or are you high yellow in race? Yeah. She's like confused. She was like, she didn't know. I say, because that you're not a color. You know what I mean? You not no adjective. You not no descriptive term. And I had to break it down with her in brief. I made her go get create a Venn diagram on the black and white thing. Not to turn it into a race issue with her, but just to show her, like, to put that negative, you know, connotated stamp on you, like, you know, you can be identified by these things, and also at the end of it all be looked at as evil. And then you go on this white side, and then they identify with the white race, and then they looked at as pure, you know, and it was meaningful. But I made her do a whole Venn diagram, compare and contrast, and what the only thing she found similar was that we were human. Yeah. And I mean that was meaningful, but at the same time, it don't mean more to know your nationality than to actually rebut or deny the fact that you not no black, colored Negro. You know, cause I don't teach mine that we ain't no niggas. You know what I'm saying? We ain't niggas. We ain't Negro, we ain't African American, and that's the same thing. She said she's African American. I said, well, what country you come from in Africa? And then what country you come from in America? You don't have dual citizenship, but of course she 12. She don't understand. Her mama ain't teaching her these things, but
in the school definitely ain't gonna teach
you. No. Yeah, they gonna whip that. They gonna want you to be Mario Porter instead of Jahid El Bey.
Yeah.
Straight up. You want Cassius Clay instead of Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
They want you to be Toby instead of Kunta.
Yeah.
It's straight bullshit though.
Yeah.
But when you call, boy, you gotta stand. And I just done been there. I done challenged the jurisdiction of the court to I done asserted my national title. I done beat a few years in prison. I'd be damn if I don't tell my children about who they is, who their ancestors is.
Straight up.
That would mean the most, which ultimately take us back to the farm. You know what I'm saying? And we doing this whole 360 to the point where now you out here and now you gonna understand one day, but not today. But you gonna understand why you hoeing your own roads, why you planting your own food. This shit that really matters. Nigga going buy all this fancy ass shit and designer clothes. Man, I dress down.
Yeah,
I put this shit on just to come here.
Yeah.
I mean, look at my fucking boots. This shit, yeah. But shit, these bitches call $250 and I jump in a hog pen with them.
Yeah.
The average nigga around here high stepping the goddamn Jordans.
Yeah.
Nigga.
Alright.
Nigga ain't trying to crease them Air Force Ones up. Shit.
Walking light.
That's real. Them shit ain't hitting on nothing.
Yeah. That's man, and that's so real, bro, because this the type of stuff that I really, really, truly believe we got to be teaching our children, bro. Because they don't, like you say, they don't know no better. Cause they ain't gonna learn it from nowhere else. Literally, bro. Ain't nobody else gonna teach. You ain't gonna get that from nowhere. I don't care what school you go to. I don't care none of that. You not gonna get that stuff. That stuff, it took me till I was 28, 29 for me to even start looking into nationality and all that. I was like your daughter. I first got asked that question. I was like, I don't know. Shoot, black. And it's like, if you, all these years, I ain't never even got asked that question. And I'm like, shoot, I don't know, bro. And then you start getting upset because you like, bro, like, I don't know. You asking me a question, like, stop asking me the question, just tell me, bro, because I don't know, like, for real. And once I really started to go and start to look into the stuff, I'm like, so you mean to tell me it's all this stuff I heard that I don't know nothing about? Like, I ain't never even thought about the stuff, bro. And it just opened my whole world up. And now it's like, for a couple of years now, I've been going into and just looking into certain things, looking into different things, researching. And I'm like, man, there's so much I gotta be able to teach my children, because my daughter, she's advanced and she asks a lot of questions. And so, she asks me certain things and she don't quite get certain things yet, but I can tell she be like, dang.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So she can kind of get certain things. So whenever the opportunities come up, I talk with her about certain things, and she be like, well, this is what my teacher told me. And I say, well, your teacher got to tell you certain things because that's what she paid to do. But let daddy teach you this right here, and just kind of give her that, keep this in the back of your mind, because this is what your teacher going to teach you. This is what daddy going to teach you.
Yeah.
And just always keeping her in that place to where she's inquiring. Yeah. So now she's to the point now where she asks certain questions about certain things, on her own now. Well, daddy, is this right? Well, my teacher told me this. So, for all the fathers out there, man, if y'all aren't on this level of trying to teach and push your children, especially my black dads out there, man, if we aren't teaching our children these things, or even starting to look into it for ourselves, man, we missing out, bro. We're doing ourselves a disservice for ourselves, for our families, and our community. If we don't, and another place where you ain't gonna get it from, you will not get it from the church.
Hell no.
The church is not gonna give it to you.
Nah.
And the church ain't concerned with it. And they'll tell you straight up, we ain't thinking about that type of stuff.
Nah, they ain't giving a damn about none of that. As long as they get the tithes and offering, they don't give a damn about it.
They ain't gonna give it to you like that. And I know that from experience. And I'm talking from experience when I say this. You know, if all we getting is what the school's teaching us and what the church is teaching us, we lost, man.
Damn,
we lost. We lost.
And as a whole, we still lost. I mean, you can have it, or he can have it. Yeah, straight but up. As a whole, collectively, shit, we
done.
We headed to the slaughterhouse.
All right, easy.
Who would ever thought it got down to 2 cowboys and 3 sheepdogs to keep 1 million cows herded? You might have one jump out of line.
Yeah.
Yeah, they let the sheepdog go to dog bite that motherfucker, he jump back in line.
Yeah.
But if these cows knew that they was goddamn being walked to the slaughterhouse,
alright,
how many you think would have actually goddamn bucked all on 3?
Alright.
Man, there ain't nowhere in hell 2 cowboys and 3 sheepdogs gonna keep them in this herd.
No, sir.
Not knowing they going to get slaughtered.
Alright.
That's how sleep our people is. I compare them to sheep like or cattle or whatever that'll walk in a herd to the slaughterhouse.
Mm-hmm.
That'll load up.
That's all we know.
And get slaughtered.
That's all we know, man.
And there ain't no damn protesting. Ain't no use to protesting, talking about no. They did that shit in the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And besides, this a whole new generation. Like, these young bucks ain't having it like that anyway.
Mm-hmm.
At least I don't think they having it like that. You know, but I don't know, that firepower. Guns draw down on a nigga, they'll let down quick. Niggas getting caught with a Nick bag reefer telling on the pound, man. So I'm just saying. So I mean, enough pressure to make a bitch fold. You know what I'm saying? On any scale.
Mm-hmm.
But that shit real, man.
Yeah, boy.
That shit real.
Hey, listen, I ain't gonna keep us on that there for too long, cause boy, that's y'all know how I be and how I get. But you know, we got some stuff about that type of stuff. Y'all, if y'all want to know where I'm at, go a couple of episodes back. I had my brothers from the Berean Council on here, man, and we talked about that type of stuff. So if you want to go and hear some more about that stuff, go and check out my episodes with the Berean Council, man. My brothers laid out a lot of stuff, man. We talked on a lot of different topics concerning that type of stuff, man. So yeah. But man, let's get back to parenthood. Let's go back. So as far as parenthood goes, man, if you could say that if there's just one thing that you could that you want to work on and be better at as a parent, what would that one thing be?
Communication.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to let my kids express themselves without getting stuck in traditional ways of saying, because I'm your daddy and I'm older, you know, kind of like allowing them having that free will to speak, rather than always, because I'm older, I got a little bit more wisdom than you don't have an opinion. You know, I'm working on that to where the average child, even myself, when I was growing up, get my ass kicked about talking about a free will or freedom of expression, talking about, as long as it ain't disrespectful.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, as a kid, you used to get your ass tore up for calling your mama or daddy a liar when you know damn well they lying. And then they like, I just beat the child ass, but I was lying. You know, that was wrong. You know, so, you know, I don't if they catch me in a lie, damn it, all right, daddy lied. Now, help me critique my fatherhood, you know?
Yeah.
Kids say the dumbest things, and kind of make you kind of think, and if it got you thinking long enough, I think it can change you. You know, by the truth. You know, because an opinion don't matter, but that truth be hurting. You know, coming from the little jitty boy, you know, like damn. And then I go to feeling bad and shit, you know, like damn. They told the truth though, but so I'm working on that, man. Trying to allow my kids to, if you will, catch me in a lie.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they catch me in a lie, they making me a better father, you know. Because not saying I lie to them, but you know, we tell our kids some bullshit like Santa Claus coming instead of saying I'm working for this shit.
Alright.
You know. It's so much other shit, but just on that scale as a minor lie, you know, that shit just always, we often put a bunch of bullshit in our kids' heads now. You know, just keeping it real with them. You know, we can keep it G with them, like rated G, you know, but at the same time keep it real with them, you know, to where, you know, we could still get something through them than believing, you know, that Santa Claus coming down a chimney that ain't never been in the projects. You know, he ain't even no chimney in no goddamn projects, let alone talking about a Santa Claus. Anything, the Grinch coming. Yeah. These niggas out here, if they get a whiff that, I'll be damned if we get down a Christmas tree next to the window with all these goddamn presents. You gonna see the Grinch. You know what I mean? But it's just about keeping it real, man, with and communicating with them to where I allow them to communicate back with me and say, like, you know, what they think. It matters. You know, they young, but they still human. They still being. And I want them to know that they opinion matter, you know.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Straight up. And I think that's the type of stuff that'll empower our children as they grow older. Same thing with me, bro. You know, allowing them to speak their mind and not putting that cap on them, man, and telling them that they can't be like this, you know. Cause I honestly, I want my children to be them type of children that be in classrooms and tell the teacher that they lying.
Yeah.
I want my children to just be honest.
Yeah.
And if they don't believe something, I want them to tell the teacher straight up, I don't believe that.
Yeah. But the thing is about that, you know, belief, you know, it's like, I don't want mine arguing with what they believe. If you don't know it, you know what I'm saying, then you can't speak on it because you believe in something don't mean nothing, you know. We believe, all you saying is you don't know. Yeah. Now, I want you to know what you're talking about. So, you can tell your teacher, you know, she a goddamn lie. Yeah. And then they write you up if you say that, you know, and I come deal with that at the you know, and then we can sweep this referral under the table. Yeah. Because daddy coming with books. Yeah. Now, what you said, and she articulated like, he articulated like what it meant to, and what she meant and said, I support my child. Ain't no referral from the, like, my daddy used to tell my ass up. Get a referral, I don't give a fuck what they said. Yeah. That's your ass. That's your ass. Right or wrong. Straight up. You cry the line, daddy, turn your ass around. Nah, we gonna cut that shit out of mine. You know, bringing up my kid. Yeah. Yeah. I ain't believing none of these crackers. Yeah. Now nigga in their system, you know, as their teacher, I ain't believing none of them. Like, I'm always at defense for mine. Yeah. People like, well, you should never say what your kids don't. You don't know your kids outside of, man. I wouldn't give a damn. I know what I'm raising them on. Yeah. Yeah, bro. Yeah. I ain't finna just take nobody's side that I live with this person. You know what I'm saying? I'm in this person's life. I ain't finna just jump to no conclusion and say, okay, all right, the dean's office, and she said, you know, no, nigga. Dad'll talk to you when you get home. Yeah. We'll deal with it like that. Yeah. Now, if she gets suspended, now daddy going to the schoolhouse, see if we can reinstate her, you know, to come back to school before a suspension. But my kids don't get in trouble. Yeah. You know, at least they ain't got in no trouble now. Yeah. But if it ever come down to it,
Straight up.
I'm defense for mine. I don't want them in their system anyways. But your ass go to jail if you don't send them to school. Truancy law is real.
Better believe it. Yeah. Better believe it, man.
You can't argue with a public system. You know, if you ain't got it, to send them to private school. You know, like send them to an all-black school. You know, but
yeah, it's out. It's a lot, man. You know, and I just think we just gotta, like you say, I think that's one of the most important things. That's what my man last week said on that same question, man. You know, just being better with our communication.
Yeah.
And that is one of the most important things, man. I struggle with that thing mightily, bro. Like, for real. You know, because at times I'm already frustrated and I'm trying to get them to understand something. And then, you know, my older girl, she will plead her case, bro. Listen to me. Well, she gonna plead her case. She don't care about nothing what you talking. She gonna plead it. I just, shut up, man. I don't want to hear nothing. She just still pleading. Man, listen. Just go to your room, bro. Just go to your room. Yeah. I don't want to hear nothing else. She just steady pleading out. And it's like only when I can calm myself down and just be like, you know, it's just certain times when I ain't already kind of frustrated about other things and I ain't tripping like that. Now I might say something and she'll plead the case and I say, yeah, you got a case. You right. You know, Daddy might be tripping. Or I go back, you know, I think about some stuff she been said, go to her room, you know, apologize to her. Like, man, you know, that's on me. You know, Daddy's sorry. Or if I don't say sorry, you know, later in the day she'll say, Daddy, you sorry about what you said earlier? And I'll be like, yo, I'm sorry.
Tired now. You owe me that. Yeah.
Yeah, man. And I just think that's just how we, you know, the best thing about children, bro, they're so forgiving, man. Mm-hmm. They are so forgiving and they're understanding, you know, and I think we can learn so much from children, bro.
For sure.
So much from our children, man, you know, because a lot of times they're so humble, you know, like I say, just understanding. And when you go back and you make things right with them, they ready. Yeah. They're like, all right, Daddy. Mm-hmm. You know, and they gonna roll with you, man, you know. Especially when they know you really for them like that. You know, they gonna roll with you with whatever.
For sure.
And, you know, that's one thing I say I learned so much from my children, man. Like, as many mistakes as I make as a father, anytime I go to make it right with them, they be like, all right, Daddy. Boom. And we end up, bruh, and it's like, and it just hold me accountable. Mm-hmm. You know, knowing that, you know, to know that my children know that I ain't above, you know, being criticized. And, you know, I tell them, you know, Daddy make mistakes too, just like y'all do.
Yeah.
You know, I ain't asking you to be perfect. You know, because my daughter said that to me one day. She said, well, Daddy, sometimes I feel like I'm such a bad child. And sometimes, you know, I just think, you know, maybe, you know, if I'll never be good, you know, because you always say that I be bad and I do this. I'm like, that's what you be thinking, baby? Like, you think that? And she was like, yeah. And I'm like, dang, so I really make you feel like that? And I'm like, dang, bro, I got to do better, like, you know, and then explain to her, like, baby, I ain't telling you can't make mistakes.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't want you feeling like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Daddy got on your behind, but it wasn't, like, I don't think you the worst thing in the world. Like, I was just mad at that moment. And, you know, just having them conversations like that and just letting her, and a lot of times we have them conversations when I'm putting her to bed, you know, right before she go to bed. And I just be in her bed just talking with her. And she'll just let everything out. And she'll tell me all these things. And it's like, in those moments, I learn so much, you know, from my baby. And it's just, them be the times she said, "Daddy, you sorry about what you said earlier?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you know." And it's like, now I go to sleep with that stuff on my mind. Like, dang, I got to do better.
Yeah.
Like, man, tomorrow I'm gonna be better. Tomorrow I ain't gonna say, you know, and just trying to.
That's real though.
You know, my kids pushing me to be better every day, because one thing about it, boy, my daughter would not. She gonna tell you. She gonna tell you straight up, Daddy, you know, you really made me feel bad, or I was sad when you said this, and I be harsh sometimes, bro, and my wife would get on me about that stuff too, dog. Like, it's like, you know, I say stuff like, boy, I wish I never had no damn kids. Y'all be getting on my nerves that bad. My wife be, why you even say stuff like that? And I'm like, man, I don't be meaning to jump, man. I'll just be mad.
Shit, I tell all mine, y'all all fucking mistakes. Nah, baby, I love y'all in bad. For real. I still like. But you know, mine, no, I'm a big jokester anyway. Yeah. I'm a big jokester with mine. Yeah. They be like, damn, but that'll, I'm hell. But I give them everything that I can afford to give them that they need. Yeah.
Straight up.
Bless them with, you know, whatever I feel like they deserve.
Straight up.
Like I tell you, everybody got a job, man. Y'all job is to go to school. Soak up these lies these folks finna tell you. Come back home, daddy gonna give you this real shit. Learn some of this real shit they gonna give you in the process.
Yeah.
And we gonna thin this shit out and, you know, figure this shit out on the way, but, you know, we got this as a family. We won.
Straight up.
You know what I'm saying? But you gotta love them, though.
Straight up.
Gotta love them.
Gots to, man. Man, if you could, here's my last question. If you could go back and look at the 18-year-old Jahid, man. If you just ran into that young man on the streets right now, and you can look him in his face, knowing all the stuff you know right now, the 18-year-old version of yourself, and you had the opportunity to give him one piece of advice going forward, what would you tell him?
What would I tell him? Knowing what I know now.
Mm-hmm.
But this shit gonna be alright.
Yeah.
This shit gonna be alright.
Yeah.
You know, cause there's a lot of shit where, you know, you think this shit over with, you know.
Yeah.
And you ain't got the answer today. The answer ain't coming in 5 years. By the time you 25, you expecting it. And then, you know, where I'm at today, you know, it's like, damn, it took time for the shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and could all things could be, you know, a little bit better, but I ain't complaining.
Mm-hmm.
You know, shit, 18 to now, shit, but it's a big difference. Big difference. Life eats you up, spit you out, swallow you again, spit you out when you're 18, going through the rigmarole, you know, not knowing you think you grown, but you ain't ready for this real life, man. This shit realizing, you know, and when it come down to it, you know, even with my kids, like I ain't in no rush to kick my kids out as soon as they turn 18.
Straight up.
And I've been left the boys like 15, you know, but 18, like, nigga thought he had it all figured out.
Yeah.
Grown. Buying stupid shit like cigarettes. You think you grown now because you able to put this shit in your mouth and
you
thought that what it meant to be grown. Or stupid shit a nigga don't do no more, you know. It's like, man, it's just bullshit. Well, you know, now it's like, boy, I tell that young nigga like, boy, just hold on. Your shit gonna pan out. I would definitely say not have no goddamn kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't have no kids at 21, but don't have no kids at 21. Wait till you about 30, 33. Right. I should be having my first one right now with the way God got this shit set up.
Yeah.
It happens like that. So I'm what? Daughter 12, I'm 6 years till she grown, but you know, I'll always be taking care of her. But then I got, 2 more after that, but the baby factory is closed.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
that
over.
Thing closed, boy.
It's over. But I love them, but no.
I can't do it, God.
I can't do it neither, bro. If I slip up and have it, but I be down, cause when they, I ain't gonna say that shit. Well, shit fucked up. This shit fucked up, come out my mouth. But I'm a raw daddy with it.
Yeah, straight up.
Yeah,
straight up. Gots to be.
I'm a raw daddy.
Got
with
to
it.
do that.
I'm ready to G round the kids.
Yeah, straight up. Gots to be.
But this shit sometimes get PG-13 at the most. You know, with I done had baby mom like, damn, boy, you need to tone that shit down. What you talking about? No, cause ain't nobody gonna tell them this shit. Ain't nobody gonna show them this shit. And I got to be the one. I already feel like I'm chosen for mine. Next generation. Man, shit, I ain't letting these goddamn crackers. I ain't raising this motherfucking sons of mine for the goddamn Department of Correction.
No, sir.
I ain't raising my daughter
for
Tom, Dick, or Joe to act like they got all the money in the world, broke as fuck, and want her to sell herself. You know what I'm saying?
No,
we ain't doing that.
No.
And I'm damn sure ain't paying all this fucking child support for this shit not to me meaning nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And still doing on top of that, like, no.
Can't do it.
I ain't gonna do it. So, but it's all love, man. I damn sure appreciate your time, man.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. I appreciate you, bro. Like I say, that time we had that conversation, I just already knew. I'm like, I gotta get bro on up, man. That was a must. It was a must, dog.
That's real.
I appreciate you coming on.
I called episode 120.
Yeah. Let's get it.
Since we at 60, I gotta see you bite around here at 120.
Yeah. Hey.
Yeah, that hopefully give you motivation to keep it going past 100.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Gots to keep it pushing, dog.
For sure.
Cause boy, the list I got right now, boy, and it's growing. Somebody just hit me up yesterday, inboxed me and say, I got a great list of fathers for you. I said, shoot, I got my own list right now.
Yeah.
That boy, I be trying to get to everybody, boy. I got guys at the job. They like, man, bro, let me come on, bro. Boy, I got to talk about this. Man, I got, man, y'all be looking out for my boy John Bond.
Yeah.
John Bond hit me up. He say he in work release right now. He say he get out in December. He said make sure I save him a slot because he got a lot of stuff to talk about. So I say, yeah.
I fuck with Bond, man.
Bond crazy.
Yeah, shit.
So yeah, y'all be looking forward to December, boy. I got a real list. I got a real list, man. But yeah, man. I definitely gonna have to keep it pushing, man. I wish if I had more time, I would be doing more than one a week.
Yeah.
I would be doing at least 2 or 3. That's how many people I got that I'm just like, boy, I can't even get to you right now, my boy. And yeah, so we gonna definitely, once we hit 100, and I'm pushing for 200 after that.
That's real, bro.
Just highlight pure, just dads, bro. Just so many dogs, so many good dudes out here, man. And I just feel like we ain't got our shine for all of these years. People talk about us. They say this, they say that, and I just went on this journey, bro, to say I'm gonna show people just how many good dads out here that will get overlooked on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
Only dads we want to talk about is LeBron James and whoever else, celebrity dads. And I'm like, man, there's dads right here in your own community that you won't even get that type of praise to.
Yeah.
You know, not saying we shouldn't pray. You know, LeBron doing this thing or whatever. That's fine. But it's like, I feel like that's the only time we appraise dads is when we see them, you know, the newsworthy dads, celebrities and all that stuff, the ball players. But I'm like, man, I see dads out here that ain't got all them resources like them dudes got.
That's real.
And out here pushing every day, trying to make sure their kids getting fed. You know, trying to make sure they're teaching their children. You know, keeping them clothing. You know, like really being in, like standing in the paint. Dudes out here fighting for their children, man. You know, making sure that like they have the right to see their children.
Yeah. And
still go above and beyond. You know, and I'm like, man, them the type of dudes that we really need to be praising. If we honest, like,
that's real though.
You know, cause we ain't got all the money like that. We ain't got, you know, I feel like if I had millions of dollars, I'd be a fire daddy too.
If I had millions of dollars, a motherfucker wouldn't even know it.
What?
Shit.
Like,
I mean, if I ain't in that line, like,
man,
playing ball and that shit.
Like, I'd be a fire daddy too.
I'm a good daddy with a baby factory clothes.
Yeah. Oh, it's over, boy. Shoot, man. Me and my wife were talking about that this weekend. She talking about,
over,
you know, like what if we was I said, ain't no more what else. We done for.
Take the rain out, man, over your mouth. Take it out, over your mouth. I say we straight. I can't do it, man. I woke up this morning, boy. I say, man, I'm going to sleep in this morning. I'm tired. Man, I just hear them kids outside the room, though. I'm like, boy, I'm dreading opening this door up, dog. Man, I open that door up. It's over.
Chips on the floor. Milk on the counter. A sheet up under the table.
Bag of grapes and strawberries everywhere.
Like, what is this, bro? Clean laundry all over the floor. I say, bro, I can't even sleep. I say, boy, this right here, wow. I say, I can't have no more kids, man. Y'all jokers gonna drive me crazy.
It's over, boy.
Yeah, man.
It's over, chump.
But I love them, dog. I shoot, every time I come in here and I talk about it, all I ever think, boy, I can't wait till I get back to the house. You know, go see my babies and just go love on them, man. Just go love on them, man. And let them know how much I love them, man. Keep it pushing, dog. It's taking this stuff a day at a time, man. Everything a day at a time. But yeah, man, like I say, man, I appreciate you, big dog.
For sure.
Ain't nothing but love, dog.
Much love.
For real. For all the supporters out there, man, y'all continue to stay tuned, man. It's like I say, I got a great lineup of dads for the next 2 months, man. So y'all don't want to miss none of this. All types of stories, you know. Ain't no story the same. Ain't no dad the same. We all got all type of stuff going on. And I just want to share these stories with y'all, man. So yeah, y'all continue to stay tuned and stay plugged in to Dad Can We Talk, man. We are out of here. Bang, bang.
Noticing you couldn't take it. It ain't your fault, me and